G'day everyone. I'm bored, so I think I'm going to build something today. I'm going to build a trolley for Mr. Mig here. So I'm going to build that out of this old treadmill that I got kicking around and a pile of scrap that I got over there. Let's hop to it, eh? Treadmills are an excellent source of scrap. You get all sorts of fasteners and bits of steel and motors, and this bit of board will go nicely in a set of shelves that I need to build later on. But this little tray is what I'm interested in for now. Let's go start doing some measuring, eh? Okay, so I'm starting to get a bit of an idea in my head. I've decided that the welder's going to sit this way around, because obviously I'm going to be able to access the side panel so I can change the wire. I figure I'm not going to be doing that too often, so it's just going to be easy enough to just lift the welder out when I need to, rather than trying to cut half the side out and make it so I can access it while it's in there. And then I found one of the old uprights from the treadmill with the handle, so if I just weld it on down in there, that'll give me something to tie the argon bottle up to. Yes, I know that's TIG gas, not big gas. I'm just using it to size it up. Now I've got a push handle. I'll be able to build a torch holder to go on here, and I have like a little tool space in there, and I think that'll work quite nicely. As for the wheels, keeping in the theme of building this out of nothing but scrap that I've got lying around, I've got these old casters that I've found in bins over the last year or so. None of them match, but we'll make them work. Most of them are pretty easy, you know, like that can just jam into a bit of RHS, that'll bolt into one as well. That's just obviously make up a little flange for that. The only funny one is this one with the round bit, but if we look at this bit of angle iron, like that, if I put that on there like that, hang on, if I hold it up like this for you, focus, there you go. So you can see that lines up, will line up with those couple of threaded holes, so I just got to put some holes in the angle and I can bolt it to the side there. Put another bolt through this plastic bit here, and then I'll have that bit of angle attached to this, and then I've got something to weld onto the frame. So making that work is probably more effort than going to Bunnings and buying a bunch of just regular wheels, but I'd rather do it this way. So, I think now I'll finalise my dimensions, snip the end of this off. I can start jacking that up and getting my wheels lined up and attach them, and I'm going to make a piece for this bottle to sit on, and that should be pretty good. Behold the almighty Aldi drop saw. One down. this is interesting. Just looking down the barrel of this thing, and a bit of swarf running all the way down through it. Cool. Okay, so I think I've worked out how I want this to be. I've got a chunk of steel in there that I cut out of that. And what else have I done? I changed my mind a bit on this thing. I was just going to weld that in place, but I've decided I want this to be sort of collapsible, so it can pack down a bit neater if I need to. So I've cut up these bits of angle iron on this piece here. It just bolts through like that. So that way I can, if I can get this the right way around, I can just weld those in place down on the base there, and then I can just unbolt it when I need to. Should be more than strong enough. You know, it's not going to take too much load. It's just for pushing the welding trolley around in the shed. And then I'm just going to make up a little plate or something to go across there so that the argon has something to sit on. And that should be a good basis for a little trolley. Oh. Then I've also got I've mostly worked out how those wheels are going to go. I've just got to cut out some spaces and brackets and bits and pieces, a bit of fiddling to get them to fit, but shouldn't be too hard. So I think it's about high time we got ahead and did some welding. Well, far from the prettiest, but I think I've still got some idea of what I'm doing. Okay, so I worked out what I'm doing with my wheels. This big lad, I'm just going to poke some holes in here, and I've got bolt holes there, and then I'll just bolt on like that. And that one's going to get welded on just like so. And then I'm going to have to drill a hole in there so that the bolt head will fit through. And then this one, that's just going to go on like that. Chop a piece of that off, weld him on, easy. And then I've got the slightly less easy ones, but they're pretty straightforward. Just a bit of RHS, snip that off, and that'll weld in somehow, and then that bolt's just going to come through there, and I'll drill a hole, drop a nut down, tighten it all up, easy. And this one, more difficult, but not undoable. It's just another bit of RHS and a bit of threaded rod. Heaps. And then I'll just be like that one, just come up from underneath and weld them all on. So I'm going to do all the actual measuring, and I'll chop some pieces up, do some more welding, and that's most of what I've got to do done. Alright, wheels. So, I've got my super advanced cribbing here holding the thing up as high as it needs to be. And I've got all my wheels clamped in place. So just gotta do a few tacks on all of them. Just to get them held in place, and I can flip it over and weld it properly. Yeah, there we go. It's mostly complete. It spins. And of course, the very first thing I did when I assembled it was ride it down the driveway, of course. As you can see, despite its mismatched wheels, it's pretty damn level and barely any wobble. I just need to add some spacers under this and that'll get rid of that. And then I'm going to cut some reliefs out of this channel just so the bendy bits, the cables coming out the front of the welder, don't have to sit up on that funny angle and get all kinked and horrid. But that is mostly done. I should probably paint it at some point, but that's a job for another time because I don't have paint or the inclination to do it just yet. So for now, all I can really be bothered is just getting those channels cut out. I've got to make something to hook onto here for the torch to sit on. It should be good to go. Hello, clothesline. So sometimes I have good ideas. After punching these things in, I realised that I had some 1-inch PVC pipe kicking about. So I just made up a couple of doohickeys. It's just a matter of jamming a bit of pipe in there and cutting it flush with the saw, and then just cutting over the top. So now I got some nice little soft protecty thingies for me cables. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to turn this pile of scrap into a torch holder. I'm just going to mount on here. Give it a little bit of tube that can spin around. I can stick my torch in that. So just got to chop this thing off. And this is going to cut a bit out of that and it'll just sit like that. And this thing's going to sit on here and spin around, and hopefully it'll make sense when it's all together. Well, I'm going to call this good for now. Added a few bits and pieces like this here torch holder. Focus. Focus. Why don't you focus? There. The best part about it is it spins. Which is good because you can be working anywhere and then just hoik. Then I found this little thing, which was, I believe, off a set of leaf springs. It just happened to be the right size for a hook. Used a bit more of that sprinkler pipe just to stick me pliers in. It's got wheels, it's got a welding machine. It's all good to go. And it's very out of focus. I think at some point in the future I'm definitely going to put some paint on it. And I've also got to make a thing to hold a bottle of gas, but I don't have gas at the moment, so I can't be bothered. Look at how nice that rolls. Well, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and putting up with my weird antics. I'll see you next time.